Touchdown, Alabama, let's get it.
The process, no one can stop this. Hottest show in the streets, I bet you can't top this. Rammer, jammer, yellow hammer, come see how we rock this. Alabama fans the best, there's no way you can top this. Recruiting news and interviews, just sit back and watch this.
Recruiting news and interviews, just sit back and watch this.
The process.
Hey everyone, welcome into the final episode of the week. This is The Process, Crimson Tide Recruiting. I am your host, Justin Smith, the scouting and recruiting analyst for Touchdown Alabama magazine. If you're not subscribed to Touchdown Alabama on YouTube, go ahead, hit that subscribe button for me below. Also, be sure to leave a like whether you are subscribed or not. I am going to be here every Tuesday and Thursday evening to break down the latest in Crimson Tide football recruiting news. On today's episode, I want to preview five-star running back Emmanuel Henderson's upcoming commitment decision. He is down to a couple of elite programs, and I want to preview the upcoming decision for Emmanuel Henderson with the Crimson Tide looking to pull in their first running back commitment in the 2022 recruiting class. But we do have a couple of recruiting updates to get to before we dive into Henderson's upcoming commitment decision. So with that being said, let's get the process started. Let's dive into a couple of quick recruiting updates today, starting with the Crimson Tide offering a couple of 2022 and 2023 prospects. One of those 2022 prospects was Isaiah Bond out of Bruford High School in Bruford, Georgia. He is expected to play cornerback at the next level, along with Benjamin Morrison, another 2022 cornerback who the Crimson Tide offered recently. I talked about the Crimson Tide's top cornerback targets on the last episode of The Process, but it looks as if the Crimson Tide's coaching staff is continuing to evaluate new cornerback prospects, continuing to extend new offers. So we will see what will happen with Morrison and also Bond moving forward in their recruitment. The Crimson Tide also recently offered a 2023 running back in Justice Haynes out of Georgia. Interviews with Haynes and Bond will be posted at touchdownalabama.com pretty soon, so be sure to check out both of those interviews, both of those articles over at touchdownalabama.com. The biggest news that has happened recently when it comes to the Crimson Tide's recruiting efforts is that four-star wide receiver Evan Stewart out of Texas has decommitted from the University of Texas. The Longhorns lost the commitment of the four-star wide receiver earlier today, and he is one of the Crimson Tide's top wide receiver targets in the 2022 recruiting class. The Crimson Tide's five-star quarterback commit Ty Simpson is already putting on his recruiting hat, trying to get Stewart to Tuscaloosa. So we will see how Stewart's recruitment play out moving forward with them no longer being committed to the University of Texas football team. But those are the recruiting updates I wanted to provide you guys with today. Now we are going to preview five-star running back Emmanuel Henderson's upcoming commitment. Time to preview Emmanuel Henderson's Saturday commitment decision. Henderson is a five-star running back out of Geneva County High School in Hartford, Alabama. He has a top 10 heading into this weekend's decision. And I want to start this discussion off and previewing Henderson's upcoming commitment announcement by talking about what he brings to the football field from an athletic perspective. He is an elite playmaker, and he first caught my attention in 2019 when he put together a very impressive sophomore season, a season where he rushed for more than 2,000 yards, had a total of 46 touchdowns, and that stat line immediately jumped out because with that stat line, that is an impressive stat line no matter what level of competition you are going up against. But when you took a look at his film, you are instantly blown away by his speed. This was a guy who showed some very explosive speed in the open field, especially when he got to the second level with those linebackers and safeties. He was able to create separation with each stride, with each step, and that immediately jumped out on film when you press play on this huddle film. I kind of felt that his size with the slim frame could be a slight against him moving forward as far as him being a top prospect in the 2022 recruiting class. I also thought that with him being at a 2A school inside the state of Alabama, which is one of the lower classifications inside of the state, I felt that that could be another slight against him, but it has not hindered his recruitment one bit. He has offers from several different programs across the nation, some of the top programs, including Alabama, Georgia, Clemson, and Auburn. And I actually think with him playing at Geneva County High School, with them being a 2A high school. I actually think that has given Henderson the opportunity to show how versatile he is, because with the Bulldogs, he lines up at running back. Of course, he plays Wildcat quarterback. He lines out wide at wide receiver at times. And he actually plays on the defensive side of football, because when you're playing 2A football, it's sort of like Ironman football at times. You have to play on both sides of the football, play a little bit of special teams here and there. And Henderson is a guy who has experience being a punt returner and a kick returner, which is something he could do at the next level. And with them being at Geneva County High School, a 2A high school, I think that has given him the opportunity to show how versatile he is. I had an opportunity to see him in action last season when Geneva County took on Everton. He actually rushed for 5 touchdowns in that game, and he was used all over the field, especially on the offensive side of football, running the football on jet sweep plays, played Wildcat quarterback, and also played running back as well. So I was impressed with what he brought to the table. But as far as his recruitment is concerned, as a sophomore after that impressive season, he racked up about 7 offers early on, including offers from the University of Georgia and offers from Penn State University. So Georgia has been involved with Henderson's recruitment for quite some time. Eventually, Alabama, Auburn, and Clemson got involved. When I got an opportunity to first interview Henderson in 2019, he told me that Auburn was his dream school. I sort of feel with the coaching changes that happened at Auburn University that may have hindered their push and their effort to recruit Henderson, but they have not slowed down with them trying to adjust to their new coaching changes and recruit on the fly with those coaching changes at Auburn University. They have continued to try to show that they definitely want him on the plains in the future, but so has Clemson, so has Georgia, and so has Alabama. Alabama has been involved in his recruitment a lot over the past year, I would say, because when I had an opportunity to see him in action against Everton, after that game, he reiterated to me that he loved Alabama's coaching staff, had a great relationship with Alabama safeties coach Charles Kelly, who recruits the state of Alabama for the main part for the Alabama coaching staff at the moment. So I do feel that Alabama is in a great position with Henderson heading into his Saturday decision. As I've constantly said over the last couple of weeks, I think this is a Georgia and Alabama recruiting battle. I would still look out for teams like Clemson in Auburn, because as I said earlier, Auburn was Henderson's dream school growing up, and I think that is something that is still in the back of his mind. But I still feel that Alabama is in a great position. I've constantly said that they are the leader. I would still give them the slight edge heading into Saturday's decision, but we will see what happens. The Crimson Tide is continuing to build up its 2022 recruiting class. They currently have verbal commitments from 5-star quarterback Ty Simpson out of Tennessee, 4-star tight end Elijah Brown out of Ohio, a 4-star defensive lineman in Walter Bob out of Louisiana. They also have a verbal commitment from a 4-star linebacker in Robert Woodgard out of Mobile, Alabama. Henderson could be the Crimson Tide's second in-state commit in the 2022 recruiting class, as the Crimson Tide continue to show that they want to continue to recruit from inside the state as well as recruiting all over the country. So I think Tide fans should be excited about Henderson's upcoming commitment decision. I still feel that Alabama has that slight edge, but I would still look out for schools like Georgia, Clemson, and Auburn. That will put a bow on this episode of The Process. Be sure to hit that subscribe button below. Also, be sure to leave a like whether you are subscribed or not. Then head over to touchdownalabama.com. Pick up your subscription today. With that subscription, you will be able to read all of our subscriber-only articles, get your hands on our yearly print magazine issue, also get an opportunity to read our in-depth scouting reports on each Tide commit in each recruiting class. Then head to the Google Play Store if you have an Android device, or to the Apple App Store if you have an Apple device, to download the Touchdown Alabama app. With that app, breaking news notifications can be sent to your mobile device. As always, thank you guys so much for joining me today on The Process on Touchdown Alabama's YouTube page. I am Justin Smith, the scouting and recruiting analyst for Touchdown Alabama magazine.
Process.